Chosen one, pause for a moment. Stop scrolling. Stop letting your attention scatter. You didn't end up here by chance. Every choice you made, every setback you faced, every detour you took has quietly guided you to this exact moment. There is intention behind it. God has been aligning events, people, and timing to bring you to this realization. From this point forward, something shifts. You won't walk away the same person you were before. The weight you've been carrying, the doubt, the inner battles, the constant low-grade anxiety is reaching its end. A new chapter is opening, one defined not by survival, but by clarity, abundance, and sustained growth. This isn't a temporary breakthrough. It's the beginning of a new way of living. Don't dismiss this moment. What you're about to understand could mark the start of your deepest and most lasting transformation. Today isn't about grinding harder, sacrificing more, or settling for less. It's not about chasing approval or climbing someone else's ladder. Today is about alignment, about your mission, about your purpose. You are here for more than a job description, a paycheck, or a title that expires. There is something specific you're meant to build, embody, and contribute. Something that can't be copied or replaced. You were selected to walk a different path. One shaped uniquely for you by God, not by expectations or trends. Prepare yourself, not with fear, but with awareness. Because what you're about to realize won't just change what you do. It will change how you see yourself, how you see your past, and how you move into your future. Most people spend their lives running with the crowd, working toward a job, a paycheck, a title, or a version of security that always feels just out of reach. They hurry to claim a place in the world, trying to fit themselves into systems that were never designed with them in mind, like puzzle pieces forced into the wrong shape. But you were never meant to live that way. You weren't created for an endless race of comparison and survival. God didn't design you to chase what everyone else is chasing. He designed you to become a reference point, to stand firm, to stand apart, and to walk a path that rises above what the world labels as success. When God says, do not seek a job, it doesn't mean stop moving or withdraw from life. It means stop pursuing what isn't aligned with you. Stop giving your energy to distractions that pull you away from your deeper calling. Too many people tie their identity to their occupation. They confuse what they do with who they are. But God reminds you of something different. You are not your job. You are your purpose. And that purpose isn't generic. It isn't borrowed. It isn't something you stumble upon by accident. Specific, crafted long before you were born, aligned with your natural gifts, your inner drive, and the way your spirit sees the world. Discovering it doesn't require frantic searching. It requires a shift in mindset. When you're searching, you're restless, moving out of fear, scarcity, and self-doubt. When you're finding, you slow down. You listen. You allow clarity to replace anxiety. Guidance replaces pressure. You were never meant to squeeze yourself into a system that overlooks who you truly are. Your purpose won't appear in a job listing or a resume template. It reveals itself internally through alignment, awareness, and courage. God has already placed within you the abilities, vision, and calling you need. If you focus only on getting a job, you may build a life based on other people's expectations. But when you take the time to uncover the divine plan behind your life, something becomes clear. You weren't created to blend in. You're here to create. You're here to lead. You're here to influence by being fully, unmistakably who you were designed to be. Most people spend their lives chasing stability. Jobs that promise security, routines that guarantee a paycheck, systems that feel safe. But that kind of stability often becomes a quiet trap. It comforts, but it also confines. It keeps dreams small and potential buried. God did not create you to live in constant fear of tomorrow. You weren't born just to get by. You were born to flourish. Following the crowd means accepting a life shaped by limits set by people who don't know your calling. Standing apart requires something different. The courage to listen to God's voice, That voice reminds you that your worth is not measured by your job title or the numbers in your bank account. Your value comes from your willingness to walk in alignment with the plan God prepared specifically for you. And understand this, God never leaves His people without direction. The signs meant to reveal your purpose are already woven into your life. They've always been there. You just haven't been taught how to see them. What makes you feel fully alive? What energizes you instead of draining you? This isn't about casual interest or hobbies. It's about calling. What comes naturally to you? What do you do with ease while others struggle? Those aren't accidents. Your gifts are divine instruments placed in you for a reason. God will never force you into your purpose. He leads. He invites. He reveals when you begin to walk in alignment. The right doors don't need to be broken down. They open. That doesn't mean the path becomes instantly clear or easy. It means you learn to trust the process. Purpose unfolds step by step through insight, encounters, and opportunities that make sense only in hindsight. Nothing is random. The world teaches you that everything must be fought for. That success only comes through exhaustion, pressure, and obedience to systems you never agreed to. But heaven speaks a different truth. When you walk in your divine assignment, you lack nothing. You don't need to manipulate outcomes or force timing. Abundance isn't produced by struggle. It flows from obedience and alignment. So stop chasing what was never meant for you. Let God bring what you need at the right time in the right way. Everyone is born with a purpose, but only a few develop the sensitivity to recognize it and the strength to follow it. You weren't created for an ordinary life or to spend your years chasing money alone. Money is limited, temporary, and tied to effort and time. Divine abundance is different. It's continuous. It's expansive. It includes provision, peace, clarity, energy, and favor. And when you align with your purpose, that flow never runs dry. Picture a well of water. Money is like a bucket. You draw from it, and eventually it runs empty, forcing you to refill it again and again. Divine abundance is different. It's the source itself, an endless flow that continues no matter how much you take from it. And it isn't limited to finances. It reaches into every part of your life. Your relationships, your health, your growth, your sense of fulfillment. God never intended for you to live trapped by fear or scarcity. You weren't meant to survive by clinging tightly to money or worrying about loss. You were meant to live fully, secure in the knowledge that what you need will arrive at the right moment, not a second too early or too late. Finding your purpose begins with stillness. It requires you to pause and listen to that inner knowing, the quiet but steady connection guiding you toward your mission. God speaks to your natural talents, your passions, and the desires that feel deeply rooted in who you are. His voice isn't chaotic or confusing. It's steady, simple, and consistent. But to hear it clearly, you must turn down the noise of the world and make space for spiritual growth. To begin uncovering your purpose, ask yourself a few honest questions. What inspires you? What makes you feel fully alive and engaged? These feelings aren't random. They're signals pointing you toward the direction God intended for you. If you feel drawn to helping others, creating, teaching, or building something meaningful, those inclinations are worth paying attention to. What abilities come naturally to you? God doesn't give gifts by accident. Creativity, insight, leadership, problem solving. These aren't just skills. They're tools placed in your hands for a reason. Think about moments in your life when everything felt aligned, when what you were doing felt right at a deeper level. Those moments aren't coincidences. They're glimpses of your purpose coming into focus. God has given you something no one else carries. A unique combination of experiences, strengths, perspective, and vision. This gift isn't meant to be hidden or used only for yourself. It's meant to serve others and contribute to something greater than you. You don't need to imitate anyone else or follow a path that doesn't fit. You were never meant to blend in. You were chosen for a different road, one that honors who you are, reflects your uniqueness, and allows you to live in alignment with the purpose God placed within you. For example, if you're someone who naturally comforts others, your purpose may be to bring healing, reassurance, and hope. If you're an artist, God may use your creativity to inspire, uplift, and bring beauty into people's lives. If you're a visionary, you may be called to lead, to build something meaningful that impacts others in lasting ways. Your gift may not be obvious at first, but it becomes clearer the closer you move toward alignment with your purpose. Give God the space to reveal it to you through prayer, reflection, and obedience. One of the greatest mistakes those who are chosen make is trying to blend in with the world. The world insists that acceptance comes through competition, struggle, and constant sacrifice, but God speaks a different truth. You were never created to conform. You were created to stand apart. The moment you stop trying to fit in, you release yourself from the weight of other people's expectations. You begin to live authentically, guided by the path God designed specifically for you. Anxiety about survival starts to fade. The pressure to impress disappears. You realize that your provision doesn't come from approval or effort alone. It comes from trust. God is your provider. And when you place your confidence in Him, what you need will meet you at the right time. Remember this: your role is not to fight for a place in the world. Your role is to allow God to reveal your purpose. And once that purpose becomes clear, everything shifts. Fear gives way to certainty. Confusion turns into direction. You no longer live from a place of lack, but from confidence, peace, and true abundance. How to discover the divine plan? 4 steps. Step 1, listen with intention. Make space each day for stillness, reflection, and prayer. In those moments, ask sincerely, God, what is your purpose for my life? Where are you leading me? Don't look for instant answers or dramatic revelations. God often speaks quietly through a sense of peace, a gentle nudge, an intuition that won't let go. To hear Him clearly, you must reduce the noise. Step away from constant stimulation. Turn off your phone. Disconnect from social media. Create a quiet environment where your thoughts can settle. Write down what comes to mind. Ideas, emotions, impressions, recurring thoughts. Clarity rarely arrives all at once. It unfolds slowly through consistency. The more regularly you practice this kind of listening, the easier it becomes to recognize God's voice amid the distractions of daily life. Step 2, pay attention to the signs. God often communicates through people, circumstances, and moments you didn't plan. To recognize His direction, you must learn to look deeper than the surface. An unexpected opportunity may be an open door. A conversation that comes at just the right time may be guidance in disguise. Patterns, repeated messages, or recurring coincidences are often invitations to pause and reflect. Nothing meaningful is random. God does not abandon His people without direction, but awareness is required. When you slow down and stay present, you begin to notice what was always there. The signs are already around you. Your responsibility is not to force meaning, but to remain open enough to see what God is revealing. Step 3, develop your gifts. God placed unique talents and passions within you intentionally. Nothing about them is random. These gifts are meant to serve as tools for fulfilling your divine purpose, but they don't activate on their own. They require development, discipline, and direction. Ask yourself, what comes naturally to me? What energizes me instead of draining me? What do people consistently recognize or seek me out for? These are clues pointing to your God-given abilities. If you're drawn to writing, use your words to encourage and inspire. If you have a gift for motivating others, lift people up and help them see what's possible. If creativity flows through you, apply it in ways that bring value, beauty, or solutions into the world. Developing your gifts isn't just about improving skills. It's about intention. It means choosing to use what you've been given for something greater than personal gain. When your abilities are aligned with service and purpose, they grow stronger and more impactful. Step 4, trust the process. Walking in God's plan requires faith. You won't always see the full picture, and you're not meant to. Often God reveals only the next step, asking you to move forward before everything makes sense. That uncertainty can feel uncomfortable, but it's also where trust is built. Purpose unfolds gradually. Growth happens in layers. Every step, every delay, every redirection plays a role in shaping you for what's ahead. Your lasting abundance isn't tied to rushing or forcing outcomes. It's connected to how faithfully you follow God's guidance. Trust the process, stay aligned, keep moving forward. What's meant for you will meet you at the right time. God set your plan in motion long before you were born. Your talents, passions, and inner pull aren't random. They're signposts guiding you toward what you were always meant to become. You don't have to invent a destiny or force a future into place. Your role is simpler and deeper. To trust, to follow, and to walk forward in faith. Life isn't a race to outrun others or a test to prove your worth. It's a guided journey. Each step reveals the next. Right when you're ready. When you stop chasing what was never meant for you, you create space for what God has already prepared. A life rooted in peace, clarity, abundance, and true security found within His plan. So take a moment and ask yourself, are you ready to accept God's direction for your life? What does trust look like for you right now? And how will you begin living in alignment with your purpose? Your reflections matter. Your words might be the encouragement someone else needs to take their own first step. Remember this. You are chosen. You were created for a path that no one else can walk. Don't let fear or doubt convince you otherwise. Everything you need to fulfill your calling has already been placed within you. Today isn't just another day. It's the opening of a new chapter. A chapter defined by confidence, clarity, joy, and abundance through alignment with God's plan. This is your moment. Take the first step. Listen closely, trust deeply, and stay open to the miracles waiting along the way. Your story is still unfolding, and something extraordinary lies ahead. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to The Great Wisdom. Thank you for watching.